On the sixth morning, Hannibal Barca walks his army out onto the plain and offers Julius Caesar the same kind of battle that destroyed Rome's largest army in a single afternoon.
I watched him for a while. Then I went back to digging.
400 yards apart, the most dangerous army on earth standing in the open with nobody to fight it, and the most dangerous man in Rome down in the dirt with a shovel, building a wall that will make this entire plain worthless in 10 days. One of them has to break first. Today, one of them does. And when it breaks, one of these two armies walks off this field completely intact, banners up.
One of us has to break first. Today, one of us will.
They never met. History put 83 years between them. Hannibal was dead before Caesar drew breath. So be clear what this is. Not a fantasy, a working model, real doctrine, real metal, real ground, real exhaustion.
One army will leave this field intact. Banners raised. That may be the army that loses.
For this model, Caesar has 10 veteran legions with auxiliaries, roughly 50,000 infantry, and several thousand cavalry. Hannibal has fewer infantry but close to 10,000 horse. Those numbers are assumptions, not historical claims, and changing them changes the result. Where the evidence is thin, or historians are still arguing, I will say so while it is happening. Start with the question the sixth morning is asking. Why will Caesar not fight? Because he has seen what that plain does. August 216 BC. Apulia, the largest army Rome ever fielded, roughly 86,000 men, walking toward a considerably smaller one. On paper, it is over before it starts, but one number belongs entirely to Hannibal. Horses. Rome brings about 6,000, he has 10,000. On the wings, where battles are actually decided, that is not an edge, that is a different category of fact. So he builds a shape. His weakest infantry go forward in a bulge, a crescent, pushed out toward Rome. Rome hits it. It gives. It gives backward, all day, on purpose, and every step of that retreat funnels the Roman mass into less room than it had a minute ago. You are inside that center when the sky starts to close, and the thing you notice is not the enemy. It is your own side, pressed so tight against your shoulders that your sword arm has nowhere left to travel, and the ranks behind you still pushing because they cannot see what you can see. Weight of numbers is an advantage right up until it becomes a crowd. Then the African veterans fold in from both flanks, the cavalry closes the back, and the largest army Rome ever raised is standing inside a closed hand. Livy counts roughly 48,000 dead. Polybius says 70. Take either one. It is the worst single day Rome ever had. That is why Caesar is holding a shovel, because that shape needs one thing to work. Somebody has to come at it. Trebia, Trasimene, Cannae. Every masterpiece starts with a Roman who accepts battle on Hannibal's ground, on Hannibal's morning. Caesar has read the same accounts you just heard. He is not going to be the fourth name on that list. So Caesar will not come out. Why does Hannibal not simply leave? He has options. He just does not like any of them. No single constraint pins Hannibal there. Together, they narrow his choices. The road Caesar is reaching for is the road Hannibal eats from, his forage line before it becomes Rome's grain line. The Gallic communities on this plain are his recruiting ground.
I will not be the fourth Roman to accept his battle on his ground.
His granary and his eyes, and they are watching to see whether the man who broke Rome can hold 4 kilometers of open field. That political risk is not certain, but it is real. Behind him, the river crossings are dropping with the season to a handful of fords. Go east. He gives up winter quarters. Go around the works. Caesar walks the road he already owns and arrives first. Raid deeper, and he hands his own supply corridor to a man with a shovel and a month. And he cannot outlast it, because 10,000 horses do not graze politely. In August, they strip a plain bare for 10 miles in every direction, and once the grass is gone, he has 2 choices. Fight or scatter to forage. An army that scatters is an army Caesar attacks in pieces. 2 men, 1 corridor, neither reason negotiable. So what makes Caesar think dirt beats Hannibal? Alesia, a fortified hilltop full of Gauls, a second and larger army marching to relieve it, and Caesar attacks neither. He builds 2 rings of earth and timber, one facing the hill, one facing the world, near 40 kilometers of rampart, ditch, and tower, sown with pits his own soldiers nicknamed lilies. Dug in weeks, in armor, under raids, because a legionary is 2 soldiers, the one who fights and the one who carries 60 to 80 pounds of tools and turns whatever hill he sleeps on into a fort by morning. When the relief army arrived, the battle had already been decided by dirt. So for 6 days on this plain, nothing happens, and the nothing is the entire duel. Hannibal does not spend those 6 days parading, he spends them making earth expensive. Numidians ride surveyors down before the stakes go in. Night probes hit the unfinished ends of the trench, where a ditch stops being a defense and becomes a hole. Timber parties cannot reach the tree line without an escort. Water parties cannot reach the river without a bigger one, and every escort is a sentry not digging. Grass burns upwind, and Roman reconnaissance dies at the edge of the camp, every day for 6 days. Caesar pays for every meter. Cohorts alternate. One digs, one stands in front of it under shields. Redoubts go up first and get connected after. Never a section built further out than the next section can cover. Artillery on the towers to keep light horse honest. Shorter work periods so tired men are not caught in the open at dusk. The wall does not advance because Hannibal permits it. It advances because Caesar keeps paying for it, at a rate that keeps slipping. Let him parade, walls do not get tired. You are in that camp on the 6th evening, and what you feel is not fear. It is the heat still in the spade handle, and the split across your knuckles where August has dried your hands. In this army, the digging is the fighting. On the 7th morning, Hannibal reads the trench lines and sees what Vercingetorix saw too late. 10 more days, and there is no battlefield here at all. The wall will have eaten it. If the trap will not be walked into, the trap has to walk. 8th dawn. Hannibal is gone. Baggage first, dust high, the honest shape of an army that has run out of grass and quit. Gallic deserters come in before the sun is properly up, saying the coalition is fraying and the Numidians rode east 2 days ago to find forage of their own. Caesar moves, and you need to understand exactly why, because he was aggressive is not a reason, it is an excuse. Here is what he knows. The baggage is real, the dust is real, the road is open. His wall is 10 days from making all of this permanent, but the campaign clock is shorter than the wall. Beyond the ford lies the grain road feeding the next phase of the campaign. If Hannibal crosses intact and burns the depots behind him, Caesar wins an empty field and loses the season. Hannibal can return in spring, and every Gallic ally watching this plain will know Rome could not stop him.
Let him parade. Walls do not get tired.
Here is what he cannot know. Whether the Numidians are 12 miles east chewing grass or 400 yards away in the willow scrub at the river bend. He cannot know it because in 6 days he has not won a single scouting fight. Hannibal owns the cavalry. The man who owns the cavalry owns the map. And Caesar has been reading a map with a hole in it since the day he arrived. Everything that happens next comes out of that hole. So he does not lunge, he commits. 4 legions forward, fast. Not a charge, a blocking force.
If he will not walk into my trap, I will make the trap walk.
Aimed at the ford, the river bend forces Hannibal into. Because if that road can be cut, the campaign ends this morning instead of next October. And the other 6 are not a reserve, they are a garrison. Strung along the works, holding the ridge camp, sitting on the baggage, covering the road. When the order goes back, what can come is only what can be peeled off a wall, and it will come in the order it comes loose, not in a fist.
If I let him cross intact, I win an empty field and lose the season.
Let him come. The river closes behind him. You hear it before you see it. Not horns, hooves, a dry rolling thunder out of the scrub, felt in the teeth before the eye finds a single rider. Then 4,000 Numidians are on the column's open flank. No saddles, no armor, the lightest cavalry alive. And the column does not panic into a crowd. It folds. Because Caesar has done this before. At Pharsalus, outnumbered heavily in cavalry, he placed 6 cohorts at an angle behind his right wing and ordered them to hold their javelins for close work. The famous command to aim at the riders' faces comes from Plutarch, not Caesar, so hold the detail loosely. What is not in doubt is the result. The mounted wing meant to end the battle came apart against disciplined infantry standing at the correct angle. So the column folds into that same angled hedge, points up, and the German horse goes in edge on, and the first Numidian rush breaks on it exactly the way Pompey's aristocrats broke. And then the Numidians do the thing Pompey's aristocrats never did.
Let him come. The river closes behind him.
They do not press. They pull back 40 yards and go to work. Javelins in, out of reach. Probe a seam, find it closed, drift left, try the next one. They cannot break the column. They do not need to. They need it to stop moving. It has stopped moving. The hedge bought time. It did not buy the day. And time is the one thing Caesar is short of, because his other 6 legions are still coming off a wall 19 kilometers long. The javelins arrive as sound too, like hail on a wooden roof. And this is the moment to be precise about the famous weapon, because the story everyone tells is not the story the evidence tells. The popular version says the pilum's long iron shank was designed to bend so it could not be thrown back. Our sources do not actually say that. What Caesar does record, and he was there, is what happened in the fight. A pilum punching clean through 2 overlapping shields and binding them together. Design intent, material behavior, battlefield effect are 3 different questions, and only the third one is solid. A shield with a bent iron shank through it is not destroyed. It is worse. It is heavy, awkward, fastened to somebody else's, and the man behind it has already lost his next exchange. Then the dust on the road ahead stops receding. From this point, the historical record ends and the reconstruction begins. The maneuver is invented, but it is built from methods Hannibal repeatedly demonstrated. Because Hannibal never built one door into anything, and he did not build this one this morning. He built it last night. The marching order was changed in the dark. African veterans placed where wings would need to be, not where a column would want them. The baggage went out through lanes marked before dawn, so the retreat had somewhere to be that was not in the way. Horns and standards were sighted in advance for a turn that had to happen within minutes or not at all, and it does not go cleanly. The Numidians open early. They always do. Light horse is a weapon you point, not a weapon you time, and that gives the Roman column 90 seconds it should never have had. Dust swallows the standards on the far wing, and the Iberians turn late, so the right arm closes slow and ragged. Hannibal's plan is not brilliant because it survives contact untouched. It is brilliant because it survives contact damaged and still very nearly works. And for about 20 minutes, it is working. The crescent blooms across 4 kilometers. Mailed veterans slide wide on both wings. Caesar's 4 legions are being folded from the outside in. Same shape, same physics, same closing hand as Cannae. The left-hand cohorts bend back. The rear narrows. This is Hannibal's victory, and it is not theoretical, and it is not far away. Seal the arms before the echelons arrive, and 4 legions die in a pocket, while Caesar watches from a ridge with a garrison too spread out to save them. It is a few hundred yards away. It is a few minutes away. Anyone who tells you this was over the moment Caesar refused the first invitation has not looked at these 20 minutes. What stops it is not brilliance. It is arrival and arithmetic. The relieving cohorts come down off the ridge the way real reinforcement comes, in echelons, in the order they could be pulled off a wall, minutes apart, each one thrown at whatever is worst when it lands. And it is enough, because of where the 2 armies spent their morning. Hannibal's center marched before dawn, staged a withdrawal, reversed formation under dust. absorbed the first Roman contact, and it has been holding a wider, more complicated hinge than anyone else on this field, in armor, in August, a long way from water. We do not know exactly how smoothly Roman units relieved exhausted front ranks, and the evidence is debated. The narrower claim is enough. Caesar can still feed organized cohorts into one failing sector, and Hannibal's center has no equally fresh body left at that hinge. His veteran wings are still lethal, but the wings are the envelopment. The moment he spends them repairing the middle, he is not enveloping anyone. He can hold the shape, or he can hold the center, not both. Hold the line straight, the ground does the rest. You are in the Gallic center when it turns, and it is not a rout, it is worse than a rout. It is an admission, men stepping backward, then a little faster, toward the river, as the morning's arithmetic comes due all at once. Hannibal reads the tear before it opens into a wound. He folds his wings home, screens with Numidians nobody alive can catch, and gives up the field intact. Now count it. Caesar's 4 forward legions are useless for weeks. His cavalry, the arm that would have to do the pursuing, has been fighting Numidians since dawn, and is finished. The works are unfinished and will stay that way.
Hold the line straight. The ground does the rest.
And Hannibal walks off with the core of his army and every one of the 10,000 horses that made this so expensive. Caesar owns the road, he does not own the war, and he cannot reach the man who handed it to him. There is your riddle. Hannibal leaves unbroken because leaving unbroken is correct. The army is the campaign, and he does not spend the campaign to win a field. Caesar holds the ground because Hannibal conceded it, and Caesar cannot follow because the cavalry that would do the following is lying on the plain behind him. Caesar wins the field, Hannibal preserves the army. Neither wins the war. 4 questions. Hannibal's ground, Hannibal's morning, Hannibal, not close. 6 days and a spade, Caesar, steeply. Under this exact reconstruction, Caesar holds the field narrowly, not because he solves Hannibal's trap, but because Hannibal's timing slips just far enough for Roman depth to arrive. Hannibal's army destroyed? No. The war? Unresolved. And move one variable, and all of it moves. Earlier contact, a wider plain, one wing that turns on time, and those 4 legions die in the pocket. Then the objection, which deserves the floor: Caesar never beat a Hannibal. Pompey was a tired, great man with green legions. Grant it. What this says is narrower. Hannibal brings the most dangerous one-day design ever drawn, and Caesar brings the more adaptable campaign system. This ground, this month,
I own the road.
with a wall going up
I do not own the war.
and a river dropping, is a campaign, not a day. Put them on Hannibal's day, and Hannibal takes it. The whole of Caesar's art is refusing to be there on that day. Sourcing's in the description. Documented, disputed, invented. Argue with the ending. That is what it is for. Next, the Mongol war machine walks into a forest of stakes built by the coldest prince who ever ruled, Vlad the Impaler, against Genghis Khan.